This is my country, your country, our country. All Indians have a right to be proud of our country. Are you ready to feel a hit of pride? This is India at 75.
One of the oldest civilizations in the world, from historical cities to national splendors, India is the land of opulence. Hi all, my name is Aisamta. I am studying 6th class in Basantpur. Today, my topic is hybrid classes, and classroom learning involves physical and interaction with the teacher and colleague students. In conventional training method, a student has to visit a physical location to speak with tutors face-to-face during assigned hours, and this can be limiting, especially for working professionals. With classroom learning, the students have to leave their job and social commitments to complete a professional degree program. And after 2007, massive open online classes became popular, and many thought these would replace the physical classroom learning to a great extent. The new generations are much more technology savvy and also very independent in their thinking and behaviors. Experimentation in recent years have made learning using virtual platform more interactive, flexible, simple, and cost effective. And virtual learning platforms fits well to their behavioral and framework. And a significant part to transfer of knowledge at speed will move to digital platform, especially in higher education. COVID acted as catalyst and the forced educational institution to adopt online technologies at breakneck speed. A student under the hybrid model of education will be able to operate from home, doing assignments, finish assignments, and post it, carry out the learning in a self-paced manner, and take initiative for working on projects. And this is mostly due to the students being able to learn faster in online. Students engaged in e-learning require 40 to 60% of less time to absorb a concept than they do in a traditional classroom setting. And with hybrid model of education of learning and greater flexibility allows better teaching and hence effective learning. It fits perfectly to the desire of new generation and learn at any time at one place, and thus post-COVID will surely see a hybrid environment of coexistence, the physical and virtual teaching learning platforms. Jai Hind. Thank you all.
India is and always has been a land of great diversity in all aspects, including one that keeps us alive and provides energy for us to design rockets to Mars or write books. That's right, get your favorite plates and spoons out because I, Sai Sharan Ballapuram of Gitanjali Senior School, Hyderabad, am talking about food. Throughout India's history, food has played a key social and cultural role, with different foods being prepared for almost every Hindu, Islamic, Sikh, Buddhist, or Jain festival. Indian cuisine dates back over 5,000 years. Indian food was greatly influenced by Mongolian, Persian, and Chinese cuisine, among others. The common thread, though, throughout the centuries remains the distinct mixing of spices that invariably gives Indian cuisine its flavor and aroma. We could say that the ancient Indians knew better about a healthy and carbon negative diet than us in the future. They understood that rice and wheat were best suited for the tropical climate and hence combined them with locally growable vegetables and fruits, spices, and at times coconuts and pulses, making a complete balanced diet that was eaten by hand, usually by sitting down, and the food was placed on nutrient rich banana leaves. Meat was a bit unpopular among the majority but was popularized by the Persians and the Turks. Pork and beef were and still are not eaten by Muslims and Hindus respectively for religious causes. As time passed, Indian culture was greatly influenced by the West. From technology to clothing, from architecture to entertainment, the Western culture influenced nearly every part of Indian lives, including food. Before moving on, I would like to note that the British came to India for food in the form of spices. Indians have been opened up to, well, let's call them revolutions in food from various centuries. You cannot pass a lot of distance on the road without seeing shops selling food from other countries, like pizza from Italy or French fries from Belgium, and imports from foreign countries has led to a rise in the carbon footprint of the local population. Did you know India's largest food chain is McDonald's? More diversity, and as some might say, fun, but there has been an increase in diseases caused through food, excessive junk food consumption, more food being wasted, leading to undernourishment, and more animals trying to produce meat for people. For the future, India's goal would be to educate all its citizens on the harmful effects of overeating junk food, throwing away food unnecessarily, and making sure its population ushers in a state where a balanced diet is provided, but also a controlled diversity of food for those few cheat days. Is the change in India for the better or for the worse? That's up to you to decide and up to you to create. What I say is that too much of anything is bad and that exposure can benefit India if we don't forget about our culture and heritage. Thank you.
Namaste everyone. This is Sirivarshini from Meridian School, Banjara Hills. And I come from the city where India's most celebrated engineer, M.V. Visvesvaraya Garu, created history, Hyderabad. Today, I have been given this glorious opportunity to speak about how engineering has become the most sought after course in India since the 90s. Interestingly, as of 2021, it is believed that India annually produces 1 million engineering graduates. Of course, everyone believes that if they get into some prestigious college like IIT, they'll be the next Parag Agarwal and Sundar Pichai. But where did all this start from? It all started with British rulers setting up a few colleges for their own benefit. They basically needed some overseers for construction and maintenance. And that is precisely how India got introduced to all the Western mechanisms. There were only a hand-picked qualified engineers back then who enjoyed immense social respect and prestige. Perhaps that's how the lust sparked off. But since independence in 1947, and right from the first 5-year plan, industries took center stage, and our engineers proved that they not just build dams, but they build nations. But ahoy! It's worth mentioning that what engineering is today is not what it was 5 decades ago. Today, no doubt, India is hooked to engineering, but rather one type: software. The perks of starting your life at a distinguished company with your first salary itself starting from some 10 lakhs per annum seem too good to not bother. Worth mentioning the illusion that people have that if they just get into some good engineering college, then Google, Microsoft, Tata, they'll all run behind you. We live in a world where smart work is given more value than hard work. It's a hard pill to swallow, but it is true. So then, where are we heading? Engineering lifeset is a wrong mentality. And most importantly, we need to provide better facilities and opportunities in our own country so that the talented buds need not migrate to other countries to find opportunities worthy of their skills. You all know what I'm talking about. Indians may be ruling the tech world, but India isn't. Moreover, the future I want for the Indian youth is that they don't have to walk into a profession by force, but rather by love and sincere interest. This is what real progress will mean. India has seen 75 years of independence, freedom, glory, development, while engineers acted as the chief architect. Let's remember and let's celebrate and take forward this monumental profession in the right path. India can be sustained by many professions, no doubt, but India can be developed only when the engineers step up.
Hello, I'm Shiva Ravishankar and I'm here to talk about How insured are today's Indians compared to yesterday's Indians? The date is 14th August 1947, 11:59 p.m. People across the country, from the most remote villages to the commercial hubs of a new India, disrupt their sleep schedule and gather near the radio to hear their new head of government declare our nation free from the shackles of colonialism. At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru triumphantly announces. One can only imagine the excitement in the air as these words echoed across the gullies, shops and homes filled with joyful folk. The India we see today is completely different from the India born out of the messy divorce that is the partition. A GDP accounting for a paltry 3% of the world's total at the time. Above that, our poverty rate was at a shocking 70% at the time of British departure. It can very much be presumed that this population's first priority was not obtaining medical aid or insurance. It was ensuring that their children had enough food for at least 2 meals a day. And as we have seen in multiple cases like that of the smallpox epidemic or the flu, turning a blind eye towards our health is certainly not the ideal thing to do. Thus, our first 5-year plan focused considerably on healthcare, aid for mothers and children, the control of malaria, and health education, among others. Insurance, as we can realize, wasn't a priority or a necessity for this largely poor population. As we moved on, though, the state realized their role in creating a healthy India and even established government hospitals where all basic health facilities are provided for free. These hospitals are spread all across the country, providing adequate services to anyone who walks in absolutely free of cost. Today we stand in a good place with our poverty rate only at about 20%. But there is certainly no doubt that we have a long way to go, with 30% of our population without any health insurance. The situation is especially more urgent because of the coronavirus pandemic, with large portions of the population still unvaccinated. I feel that universal healthcare is the only way to go. The Indian economy is one of the fastest growing economies ever in the world, with an extremely credible growth rate of over 11% according to the IMF, making us one of the only economies in the world to grow in double digits for the year 2020. Thus, there is no doubt that we will be able to accommodate for the monetary requirements of the same. When I envision India 10 years from now, I think of a strong, economically developed nation with universal healthcare provided to all of her citizens. This is the India I wish to see, and I'm absolutely positive that it will not remain a wish for long, but become the reality we are all hoping for. Thank you.
110. You heard me right. This February, India celebrated its 110th anniversary in the aviation industry. India's civil aviation is among the fastest growing in markets globally, with a recorded 20% growth year by year, with approximately 874 airports and airstrips, 32 of which are classified as international. To understand how India is the aviation hub it is today, we have to go back in time to its roots, where it all began, the 1930s, when the Indian aviation first kick-started. The magnanimous J.R.D. Tata, also India's first licensed pilot, founded its first airline too, Tata Airlines, which flew its inaugural flight from Karachi to Mumbai. By 1948, Tata Airlines, renamed as Air India, started to fly its first international flights from Mumbai to London. From the early 1950s to the 1990s, the Indian government started to make some crucial decisions, like nationalizing the Indian aviation industry and deregulating a few laws which allowed the formation of new airlines, laying down the foundation for the current aviation industry. The 2000s marked the beginning of the Indian aviation boom. This is because of the privatization of airlines and the reduced airfares, which made millions fly. In the recent past, the government launched the National Civil Aviation Policy, which exclusively focused on affordability, connectivity, and ease in airline business. Another policy introduced by the government is Udan, Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik, one of the world's most innovative schemes, which expanded the flight connectivity to Tier 3 and 4 towns. A few other successful initiatives were Nav Nirman and Air Seva, which propelled India into the third largest aviation market. Apart from the tremendous development over the years, the Indian aviation industry has been largely untapped by huge growth opportunities, considering that most of the population of India still cannot afford to fly. Let us all hope and wish that India continues to be on a high growth trajectory and provide sustainable, comfortable and affordable flight experiences for every citizen in India. Jai Hind.
One can get lost in music, and that is why we should not let any form of music be gone with the wind. Namaste all, I am Suzanne Samuel, and it is my honor to speak in front of you. India proudly celebrates 75 years of independence this year. But let's take a step back in time to see how far we have come in terms of music. The history of music in India can be traced back to Vedic times. India has come a long way from that, as her music can be seen in every part of the world. And now, each Indian heart swells with pride. Then again, it's hard to see when one is blinded by pride. Right before our eyes, ancient Indian music forms are facing the risk of becoming extinct. And are we supposed to stand and do nothing? Starting with Tapa, usually sung by camel drivers of northwest Punjab and composed in Punjabi or Pashto, this style of singing is gradually becoming extinct due to the lack of good teachers as well as dedicated students. Tumri emerged as a classical style in the 18th century. Nowadays, gurus are hesitant to teach Tumri as it requires a certain temperament and voice. Earlier, after a Khayal recital, the singer used to wind up with a Tumri, but this has been replaced by bhajans. Chanting, compared to the times when one would wake up to the chanting of shlokas or mantras, our fast-paced lives leave little room for this form of devotion. Qawwali. This has been dated back to more than 700 years. This form of Sufi music doesn't find any takers. Even in Bollywood, the qawwals are forced to look for a living beyond. Folk music, known to be the purest form of music, the onslaught of modern entertainment has pushed this innocent music to the brink of extinction. Or worse, led it to be exploited by Bollywood. And that's just stating a few. We must do everything in our power to prevent these music forms from growing extinct. To achieve this, we must stand together as one and take collective action. Only then will our descendants be able to study one of the most beautiful music forms in the world. Remember, music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to imagination, and life to everything. With these words, I would like to conclude. Thank you.
A road that can take you to a new place or to a place that brings back all the fond memories isn't the road that you would like to take. Roads are the arteries through which the economy pulses, by linking producers to market, workers to job, students to school, and sick to hospitals. Roads are vital to any development agenda. Since 2002, the World Bank has constructed or rehabilitated more than 260,000 kilometers of roads. This road network transports 64.5% of all goods in our country, and 90% of India's total passenger traffic uses road network to commute. Road transportation has gradually increased over the years with improvement in connectivity between cities, towns, and villages. In August 2021, the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways constructed national highways extending 3,335 kilometers compared with 3,322 kilometers in August 2019. To transport road infrastructure in Punjab, Haryana and Rajasthan, the Indian government has constructed roads extending 313 kilometers. The region has also witnessed growth in national highways from 7 in 2014 to 11 in 2021. Now we have 4-lane roads, 6-lane roads, which gives more comfort to traffic. The total road length in the country increased at a compound annual growth rate of just 4.2% from 1915 to 2015. However, while road brings economic and social benefits, they can also come with social costs such as pollution or deforestation. The infrastructure of highways is changing to match the ecological and economic priorities. How can we have more lucrative roads without harming the environment? To start, let's look at the technology that can seamlessly make a use of already occurring phenomenon. Piezoelectric energy harvesting makes use of rumbling of your car as it makes down the road. Piezoelectric energy harvesting limits the amount of electricity that goes into and upkeeps the management of the roadways by making a use of a natural or at least common resource. It also makes use of the old nuisance noise pollution. Well, it doesn't limit the amount of traffic noise that makes it off the highway. It goes redirect that noises and produces energy for it. How wonderful it is. Next is electromagnetic induction. Even more experimental than the use of UV light comes the use of electromagnetic induction. The opportunities for more sustainable roadways are as suggested. While integration of the many different options are still in progress, research into their most effective forms will continue. All the same, within them lies a hopeful and energy-efficient glimpse of a more sustainable future upcoming in the next 75 years. Thank you.
Aradhya Sood from Sarthak Darshan Vidyalaya is feeling glad and proud to be the part of International Debate Competition. My topic for International Debate Competition is Automobile Sector. The role of automobile sector in India's economy and progress was remarkable. The automobile sector plays a remarkable role in the growth of Indian history. In 1897, the first car ran on India's road. As in Germany, in 1890, the first car ran on the Germany road. This example shows that how much we were having lack of resources and lack of technology. This seems that how much we were struggling of lack of resources and lack of development. But now, India is the major products producing country of automobile sector. Now, India is having major development resources and good machinery system. India automobile sector in 2009 exports $4.5 million to UK as followed by main exporter of automobile sector as followed by South Africa, the Netherlands, Germany. And next, it is crucial to conserve our resources, to sustain our machinery system, to sustain those raw material which are necessary for automobile sector. We have to conduct various schemes and various models to conserve our resources. We have to be aware, we have to sustain it. It is crucial to protect our environment, our resources and our raw materials. As 75 years back, we were struggling of lack of resources, but now we are having lots of resources and technology. Now we have to stand up for our nation, as next 75 years is very important for India to produce its maximum automobile sector in higher growth into higher growth. We are here, and in next 75 years we have to in the top of the world in the sector of automobile. We have to commit our global standard awareness. We have to be aware about our automobile sector. Buying a car, it's not necessary, but knowing about a car, it's necessary. Knowing about its product, it's necessary. Not knowing a brand of a car, it's not important. Knowing of its features and its uses, it is necessary. It is necessary. And we have to learn it and we have to understand it. At last, but not the least, I would like to conclude my speech and my debate by saying that if I had to ask the people what they want, they all would be saying faster horses. They all would be saying faster horses. Refer to automobile sector. Thank you to being such good listeners and such a good audience. Thank you all of you. Thank you.